And this news just coming in, Ustad Amjad Ali Khan's sarod has been misplaced. The maestro has tweeted saying that British Airways has misplaced his sarod, and 48 hours on, it is still missing. In fact, I'm just taking you through his tweet while I point out that in 1997, British Airways, his sarod had gone missing, and now British Airways has misplaced it, and he's still waiting anxiously for some news. Shubhajit Sengupta is joining us on the phone line with more details. Shubhajit, what happened? Where did he lose the sarod? And why has there been no response from British Airways?
So far, the information that we have is that Ustad was traveling from London back to Delhi, and on way it was in the cargo when it got misplaced. Apparently, British Airways promised him to retrieve it sooner, but so far he hasn't heard anything from them yet. And this is not the first time that Ustad has suffered in the airline. Earlier too, once he had to face a rude shock when he opened his sarod case to find that his sarod was damaged when he was traveling from Mumbai to Kolkata. So had happened then was the skin of his sarod was ripped off on the center. This time, of course, it's a graver danger. They have misplaced it. He can't find it. So yes, certainly.
Shubhajit, do hold on. I believe the Ustad is on the phone line with us. Sir, thanks for speaking to CNN IBN. When and how did your sarod get misplaced?
You see, we recently traveled to London, me and my wife Subhlakshmi, and we were traveling British Airways. There was a huge, big concert in Dartington College, Celebrate Tabor, and I performed there on the 21st June. And then while coming back, I handed over my instrument to that oversized baggage counter where you give your fragile items. And I could see there were lots of musical instruments already lying there. And maybe some orchestra was traveling overseas, or they were coming to India, I don't know. But I gave my instrument to the porter there who was in charge, the man of this oversized baggage. And I appealed to him, I pleaded, and I said, please, for God's sake, take care. Special care. This is musical instrument, but my life is there. So please be kind and be very... in spite of that, when we landed in Delhi airport, me and my wife, on 28th of June, 28 Tarikh ko.
Yes, sir.
And they couldn't trace, we were there for 3-4 hours at the airport, and they could not trace my instrument. They were getting that golf kit. The golf kit also looks like long sarod and all that. So I said, no, I don't play golf, and this is not my instrument. So they couldn't trace, and 3 hours, 4 hours we were there, and then all the paperwork, my wife was signing this and that. And they promised me that they'll bring the sarod. The next flight will bring the sarod. But next flight, now it's nearly 48 hours. I couldn't sleep whole night. I am so worried. I am, as if, 45 years companion. It's not sarod, it has a life, it's a...
Right. I understand. You feel like your family member is missing, sir.
Yes.
But what's been the response from British Airways, sir, so far? Because you're saying it's nearly 48 hours.
British Airways, nobody's calling me, but my wife, poor thing, she has been calling and she has been inquiring. And this is not the first time. Even while traveling in America, British Airways broke my instrument there. And we have lost 2-3 suitcases while traveling by British Airways. So,
sir, if you will permit me, we do have a response immediately coming in from British Airways now to CNN IBN's Karma Paljor, and I'm reading out from that statement. We are working round the clock to reunite customers with their bags. We are very sorry that this process is taking longer than anticipated, and we fully understand the frustration that this is causing. Heathrow Airport's baggage system in Terminal 5 has experienced a number of problems since Thursday. This has resulted in fewer than expected bags being transported each day, and they are saying that they are sorting this matter out, sir. Does this statement satisfy you for the moment?
I don't want to claim any damages. I hope, and I'm praying that I hope I will receive my instrument. That's what I only want from that.
So they are saying they are going to get the delayed bags onto the next available flight as soon as possible. But you're saying it's nearly 48 hours and you possibly can't wait any longer.
Luckily, I don't have a very major concert today or tomorrow, but I missed out so many important recordings. And so British Airways, they have to be more responsible. How can they, how will we trust in future on British Airways?
So in your tweet, you mentioned something that happened to your sarod in 1997. Did it go missing earlier as well?
No, it was damaged. It was damaged, and I lost my suitcases a few times. So we have a bad experience of it.
You travel all the time across the world for your concerts and your functions. Has it ever happened that your sarod has gone missing?
Only once in India, our national carrier, Air India or Indian Airlines, once traveling from Ahmedabad to Bombay, my sarod was broken, and when I opened the box, and I had to perform in Mumbai, and luckily that was a 3-4 days festival. So I requested my wife to bring my another sarod from Delhi, and she came, and I could perform in Mumbai next day. But this sarod is a very, very special sarod of ours, and I hope every airline, they should be more careful about human beings and also musical instruments, because they are so fragile. They are so fragile. Cello, violin, or guitar, or sarod, sitar. So all the musicians of India, we are always worried when we give our instruments to the band. And I hope, I only hope I get my sarod as soon as possible.
All right, sir. We understand your anxiety at this point. Thanks very much for speaking to CNN IBN, and a response coming immediately from British Airways as well, saying we are working on this and we are getting the lost packages on to the next flight as soon as possible, but nearly 48 hours, and yet he hasn't heard from the airline about whether they've been able to place that missing sarod at all.